This is Green Day Radio. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong. 1981 is sort of my tribute to the Cold War and the first time you ever seen something on cable TV like MTV. So a girl punching to the beat, kind of like Billy Idol, while you're watching him do Rebel Yell. This is 1981 on Sirius XM. Hello, it's Billie Joe Armstrong. This band is called Bad Nerves. They're from the UK, one of my favorite new bands that's out there. Really tight and, has sort of a feeling of like punk rock from the late 70s, maybe in the vein of like the Undertones to something like the Ramones a little bit. But great band, everyone should check them out. It's Bad Nerves song called USA. Hello, it's Billie Joe Armstrong here on Green Day Radio. Bobby Sox was originally about just sitting on the sofa or going to a movie with my missus. It was sort of more about like our relationship, but I flipped the script a little bit with the second chorus where it goes into "Do you want to be my boyfriend?" So I've sort of flipped the gender thing before on Basket Case, but this one gives it a whole new level. Sort of turns the song into a queer anthem. This is Bobby Sox on Sirius XM. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. It's Billie Joe Armstrong. Coma City I see it as a collage of rioting in the streets during a lot of crazy times that we've had between 2020 up until now, whether it's something like about the George Floyd protests to the insurrection. It sort of captures everything as collages in my brain. This is Coma City. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong on Green Day Radio. Dilemma is about addiction, feeling like you're at the grips of something that you can't control. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong on Green Day Radio. Fancy Sauce is the last song on our album, and it kind of sums up the chaos and insanity that goes on throughout the record, ups and downs that you feel. It's like life is a roller coaster. It's sort of one of those songs where you feel like you're in a straitjacket in a rubber room and feel like a victim, like everyone feels like a victim these days. It's sort of a song that you can really kind of see your life flash before your eyes. This is Fancy Sauce on Sirius XM.
Father to a son.
This is Green Day Radio. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong. Father to a Son is an intimate song that I wrote about being a father that I wanted to dedicate to my two sons. It's one of the most personal songs on the record. This is Father to a Son on Sirius XM. Hello, it's Billie Joe Armstrong. So I want to tell a story about how Green Day got their name and Susie and the Banshees. One day, I was at a friend's house and we were taking bong hits. His brother was a DJ and was playing all these songs back to back to back, and we were laying there spaced out for about a half hour. At the very end, he played Dear Prudence by Susie and the Banshees, and we said, "What's that song you just played?" And he goes, "I've been playing music for a half hour." And we're like, "No, what was the last one?" He's like, "Susie and the Banshees, Dear Prudence." And so I went home and I wrote a song about that experience, and it was called Green Day, and it's on our album 39 Smooth. Our drummer at the time, John Kiffmeyer, said, "I think we should change the name of our band from Sweet Children to Green Day." And so that's what we ended up doing. Thanks, Susie. This is Green Day Radio. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong. Husker Du was a band I think that had the biggest impact on early Green Day. I think even as a three-piece, when I hear a song like Makes No Sense at All, it just brings me back to that time where I was like, okay, this is my band. I love these guys so much. So here's some Husker Du. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. It's Billie Joe Armstrong. Kerplunk, our second album on Lookout Records, has the OG Welcome to Paradise on it. I think we had a $1,500 budget, so we made sure that we were really tight. and recorded in one day and mixed the next.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
Hey, it's Billie Joe from Green Day on Sirius XM. Living in the 20s is sort of the adventures of QAnon and all of the crazy information and algorithms that we get, whether it's about school shootings or Pizzagate or murder hornets or having sex with AI robots. Yeah, it kind of shows how dysfunctional our society has become. This is Living in the 20s. I'm Billie Joe from Green Day. You're listening to Green Day Radio, exclusively on Sirius XM. Look Ma No Brains, Look Ma No Hands. That's where the title kind of came from. It's probably one of my favorite punk songs that I've ever written about not having a clue. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong on Green Day Radio. I'm a huge fan of Metallica's Master of Puppets. It kind of switched my thinking a little bit as far as like heavy metal music and how it can be more serious, darker, and more honest. So when I hear that record, it just reminds me of junior high when I started getting into something more aggressive. Hey, it's Billie Joe from Green Day. Minority is about finding your own independence and not relying on others to go along and being a part of the sheep. So it's about independence and empowering yourself to move forward and feel stronger in your own identity. You're listening to Green Day Radio, exclusively on Sirius XM. It's Billie Joe Armstrong. Motley Crue was the first band. I guess they would kind of be like my Kiss. They wore makeup and set themselves on fire, and they had a great album called Too Fast for Love, and then also they had Shout Out the Devil. And that record made me feel like a badass little kid. You're listening to Green Day Radio, exclusively on Sirius XM. It's Billie Joe Armstrong. One-Eyed Bastard is a song about revenge. I think we all think about it, but basically it's holding on to grudges and then fantasizing about what you could do with them. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong on Green Day Radio. REM was a band that I saw when I was 13 years old. My sister took me to see them in Santa Cruz High School Gymnasium from the Fables of the Reconstruction tour. It was a big eye-opening experience about seeing something that was like devout audience, people that were really into the band, and it was really like something that felt very, very real and honest. So this is REM. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong on Green Day Radio. Saviors is the first song I wrote after the pandemic when everyone was just looking for some kind of leadership to figure out what the hell was going on. And we had none. It turned into chaos. So it's just about that, and also Green Day could possibly be your rock and roll saviors too. So there's that. Hello, it's Billie Joe Armstrong. Strange Days Are Here to Stay is sort of kind of sums up the record in a lot of ways. You know, I think there's the line, ever since Bowie died, it hasn't been the same. And that was in 2016. And I have to say, me and my friends were sort of right. When Bowie died, things had just gotten weirder and weirder. So this is Strange Days Are Here to Stay on Sirius XM. Hey, it's Billie Joe from Green Day. This is Green Day Radio. Social Distortion is a band that I really love. I think Mommy's Little Monster is probably my favorite record by them, and it's like the first time I ever saw like a punk rocker wearing eyeliner, Mike Ness, and he had crazy hair, and watching the documentary Another State of Mind, they were a big influence on me early on. Hey, it's Billie Joe from Green Day. This is Green Day Radio. Susie Chapstick could be a song about what your friends are up to lately you haven't seen in years, looking on Instagram to see how other people's lives are doing, and we're all alive and doing well together. So This is Susie Chapstick on Sirius XM. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong on Green Day Radio. The American Dream is Killing Me is a song about the confusion and chaos living in America right now, dealing with things such as the houseless to what time the Uber driver is going to show up. So enjoy it. This is Green Day Radio. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong. The Dookie 30-year anniversary box set. You know, I held on to these 4-track demos for over 30 years. I try to hold on to everything, whether it's a souvenir, an old t-shirt, or, you know, especially music from when I was doing demos on a 4-track. So the anniversary was coming up and we knew it. And I said, hey guys, I got all the original demos. And they said, really? And I said, yeah. And then we put them out on the box set.
This is off one of our records that no one has.
I'm Billie Joe from Green Day. Saviors is our latest record. We got back together with producer Rob Cavallo, who we haven't worked with in 10 years. We recorded it in London mostly to get out of America for a while. And it's one of the most memorable experiences of my life. Hey, it's Billie Joe from Green Day. So we are going on tour with some great bands. We're going to be playing with Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas. So it's everybody's a little different from each other, and I think having variety is a good thing. But I love all these bands, so this is Rancid. Hello, it's Billie Joe Armstrong here on Green Day Radio. Touring American Idiot was really big for us because we went from kind of being in theaters and suddenly we were in arenas and they were all selling out really rapidly. Eventually, we ended up playing some stadiums too. So, big record that had a life of its own and it just kept going and it became a musical. That's one of my proudest moments ever. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong on Green Day Radio. Waiting, I think, is a really positive song. You're waiting for something good to happen, but maybe the present moment is the good things that we take for granted. I'm Billie Joe Armstrong on Green Day Radio. Welcome to Paradise is about the first time I moved out. I was 18 years old and I moved to West Oakland. And so that's what Paradise is, West Oakland. Hello, it's Billie Joe Armstrong here on Green Day Radio. When I Come Around was written for a girl back a long time ago where we couldn't really figure out what our relationship was going to be. So that's youth for you.
Hey, I'm Mike Dirnt from Green Day. I know everybody loves AC/DC. Maybe the world's most underrated guitar player of all time. Angus Young, if you know, you know. But if you don't know, well, now you know. When Bon Scott passed away, that could have been it. Brian Johnson jumps in. He's the greatest second singer of a band of all time. Period. Yeah, we're blessed to have that. Anyway, AC/DC on Green Day Radio. I love them. Hello, it's Mike Dirnt from Green Day. American Idiot. When Billy wrote that song, it was like, wow, here we go. This is something different. When they dropped in the video all of that green water, it was ice cold. Sam Bayer, the director's visual take from that was actually from the elevator scene in The Shining. And it was a one and done thing, man. I didn't know if my amps were going to fall over on me and kill me because it was about 500 gallons of water. Good times. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. I'm Mike Dirnt. Right around the time we were about midway through writing and recording American Idiot, Billy hit a wall writing-wise, and me and Tré sort of forced him to get out of town. We're like, you need to take a break, get out of here. And he went to New York, and when he came back, he's like, I think I got something here. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. We sure got lucky with that one. I think there's inspiration there from my old James Dean poster. Just having time with your thoughts, a very important thing for everybody. You never know what you get when you have time to marinate. I'm Mike Dirnt, here on Green Day Radio. Chris Stapleton. I know he's a popular one, but the guy's got a hell of a voice, man. He really does. He kind of helps me reset when I hit the brakes on, power pop and punk, stuff like that. Every once in a while, I'll throw that on. Sometimes you need something that's just super easy to listen to and some good storytelling. I'm a fan. I'm Mike Dirnt, here on Green Day Radio. The little kid in me, gotta start with Chuck Berry. Talk about wanting to learn how to play guitar. Songs that just influenced all of rock and roll. That's a huge one. Any little kid that wants to play guitar, well, you can learn some Chuck Berry riffs. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. Hey, I'm Mike Dirnt from Green Day. Corvette Summer. This song makes me want to just throw the top down and put the pedal down. There's certain songs that make you just want to get in your car and drive. Some songs scream summer. It screams it so much that our manager, Jonathan Daniel, actually suggested the name for it, which couldn't have been more perfect. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. I'm Mike Dirnt. Elle King. My wife is rocking Elle King at home all the time, and she's just a badass, man. A lot of my favorite artists right now, or newer artists, are very original because it's not hyper-focused on one style anymore. Like when I was growing up, it was like, oh, here's your rock station, and here's your soul station, what have you. I just like mixing it up. I think it's really cool, and when people have talent, that sounds good on vinyl. Hey, I'm Mike Dirnt from Green Day. Insomniac, that record was us wanting to get into the studio and prove that we are not one-hit wonders. And we wanted to record just a down and dirty punk record. I love that album. It has a sound. It's a unique sound for Green Day records. It's got teeth. I know a lot of people who that's their favorite Green Day record. It's a barn burner. Kerplunk, that album, I would say again, this is where I feel like we really found our sound. Hey, I'm Mike Dirnt from Green Day. We had a sound, but this is where it became the Billy, Tré, and Mike show. The songwriting was getting better. We were playing all the time. We toured relentlessly. And I looked up online how many shows we played in 1991, and we played 176 shows in 1991. And that's a testament to like what made our sound happen. Playing live makes you better in the studio. Playing in the studio will make you want to play live better. And it's a good game of kickball, if you will. I'm Mike Dirnt, here on Green Day Radio. I love playing She Live. It's a great anthem for the strong women in this world that break free of social confines and anything else that life throws at you. And it's just a bitchin' pop tune. So, she. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. I'm Mike Dirnt. I have a soft spot in my heart for Smokey Robinson. Anyone who writes My Girl and My Guy is a genius. But Smokey's just got such a good voice. So soulful, and he's written some of the greatest songs of all time. When I need to get away, I'll go get my car, put on some Smokey Robinson, just take a cruise. Cruising, if you will. Hello, it's Mike Dirnt from Green Day. The American Dream is Killing Me. Billy had been he'd been working on that song for quite a while and just tucked it away. It was one of the last songs, actually, that was unearthed for the album Saviors. Rob Cavallo, somehow Billy must have played it for him at one point. He was going through some demos and seeing what else he had. And Rob really wanted to sort of squeeze that one out of him. And we had to get into a room and really find out how we could structure that song. And all the parts were there. We really just wanted to make it Green Day. And so, yeah, The American Dream is Killing Me on Green Day Radio. It's Mike Dirnt from Green Day. You cannot be a rock and roll fan and not like the Beatles. The stupidest person ever once said, I don't like the Beatles. And I quickly corrected him and said, you haven't been listening.
Hey Jude.
Our fans are diehard. And I mean that in the sweetest way. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. I'm Mike Dirnt. Some of them are like family members. I've seen them for so many years coming to shows, and I genuinely care about them. I think we all do. The thing is, we've grown up together. People say, man, I grew up listening to your band. I said, so did I. This is our high school band. Now I'm seeing kids who came to see us when they were really young not only bring their kids, but bring their grandkids. And you can't help but get a little choked up when you think about some of that. They're a very big part of our life, and we're a big part of theirs. And I think that's why we work so hard to be a good live band, why we work so hard on every line and every note of every song. If you can leave a mark on this planet, it's a ripple effect. We got great fans, man, and they're good people. They have a good sense of humor, too. You know, you got to be able to laugh at yourself in this world we live in nowadays. Look, Ma, no brains. Hey, I'm Mike Dirnt from Green Day. Or when our last album was put out, Father of All Motherfuckers, COVID hit. really the rug was pulled out from underneath us. We didn't even get a chance to go out and spotlight any of these songs. Got like a couple videos and singles, but we really didn't even get into the weeds about it. What do you do, right? I'm not going to sit at home and learn how to bake bread. So our savior has always been music. No matter what we're going through in life, we go through it together, me, Billy, and Tré. We share common experiences, and we're brothers, and we love music, and we've been on this journey together, and we want to see what this conversation has to say as we move forward. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. I'm Mike Dirnt. To me, the Ramones will always be the biggest punk band in the world, and probably the best punk band in the world. They were so consistent and such great songwriting, and the thing that they had that not every other band has, they had songs that could make me cry. That takes a different reference point to come from, and for me, that's a very important thing in songwriting.
Let's go!
Hey, I'm Mike Dirnt from Green Day. We recorded probably about 3/4 of the record in London at this studio called RAK Studios, R-A-K. What it did is it really hyper-focused us. It was just the three of us there, and we were able to really, really lean into these songs individually and recording-wise, and record in the same room, get the drum tracks there together, playing off of each other. There's something to be said about that, being in the room with your drummer. Some of these songs, I was changing the bass line and writing them as Tré was laying down the tracks, because we're all listening with our headphones on intently, and you can feel the intensity of the person across the room when you're playing and recording like that. Saviors. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. I'm Mike Dirnt. Uno, Dos, Tré. I love all three of those albums, actually. I know people think they could have been one great record or whatever, but when the faucet's on, you keep it on. Of those records, I have a real soft spot for the record Tré. I just think it starts really beautiful with this sort of Sam Cooke style number, and it has songs like Missing You that I really love. I think it was more of where we could have been at the time when we recorded the three of those records, songwriting-wise. I see what people mean when they talk about that, because they're great power pop on the first album, and the second one is probably should have been a Foxborough Hot Tubs record. The third record was, us still wanting to write more embellished songs and get into the craft more. But yeah, those albums are worth a listen and a half. It's Mike Dirnt from Green Day. The Who, they're heroes. Those songs, the guitar riffs, the leads, the harmonies, the way they would challenge themselves into writing something like A Quick One. Without The Who and Tommy and A Quick One and things like that, there's no American Idiot. Hands down. Hey, I'm Mike Dirnt from Green Day. When I Come Around. That's one where me and Tré we're the little bouncing ball in the background of that song. We're all over the place in that one. It's just got such a pocket. It's really fun to play live. We don't really know how to pick the singles. You'll hear it, you'll think something, but that one I was pretty sure about, and I remember Billy going, "Really, you think that one?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's got such a pocket." Man, it's so good. That was the one where my sister called me, and she said, "What are you doing on my radio station?" So I crossed over pretty good. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. I'm Mike Dirnt. Wake Me Up When September Ends. It's the first time Billy had ever written or talked about the passing of his father. That was in the 5th grade. His father passed, and I remember him calling me saying, I've never written about this. This is really heavy. There's times where you just listen as a friend and you say, go there. That was one of those times, and when we play that live, there will be times where I will literally just be crying, letting it out. Just like I see the people in the crowd. It's like people have life and they go through things, and sometimes you just gotta let yourself be flooded with emotion and get it out.
Hello, it's Tré Cool from Green Day. And here's a song called Father of All Motherfuckers. Here on Green Day Radio. Hey, I'm Tré Cool from Green Day. Corvette Summer is a great song to try and roll a joint with the top down in a convertible sometime. Just try it. That's sort of one of the inspirations of this jam. So, good luck. Hey, I'm Tré Cool from Green Day. Here's one called Goodnight Adeline, which is an anthemic stadium rock song for your enjoyment. It should rumble your spleen a little bit and make you kind of poop a little bit at the end. So enjoy. Hello, it's Tré Cool from Green Day. My mother's name is Linda, but she is double beautiful. So my mother is Linda. Hey, I'm Tré Cool from Green Day. Look, Ma, no brains. I don't know what to say. Real fucking good song. Hey, I'm Tré Cool from Green Day. One-Eyed Bastard, well, that song says it like it is, I guess. It's a pretty angry song and kicks ass. It leaves skid marks in your ears. So listen to it loud and enjoy on Sirius XM. Green Day Radio. Hey, I'm Tré Cool from Green Day. Susie Chapstick, that is a guitar-rific awesomeness, one of my favorites right now. It tickles me in a fun way. Hello, it's Tré Cool from Green Day. We used to tour the United States in a bookmobile. My dad fixed it up. When I say fixed it up, got it running. Built like a little loft thing in there where we could put our equipment underneath and sleep above the equipment on little fold-out futons on the ground. I mean, that was like our, quote, tour bus around 94, and we did Lollapalooza in that thing, and it was kind of cool pulling up next to like the Beastie Boys bus, having a bookmobile. Sometimes like people would actually come knocking on the door trying to get books at inopportune times. But the bookmobile still exists, it still runs, and it still gets like 6 miles a gallon. I'm Tré Cool from Green Day. This is Green Day Radio. Calling them fans is like, we're fans of them too, I guess. So it's like it's a relationship with our fans. We all kind of go both ways. We thrive on each other. Like we get energy from them, and they get fun places to go from us and songs from us. And the energy just kind of keeps going back and forth like a good game of beer pong. I'm Tré Cool from Green Day. This is Green Day Radio. One of my favorite contemporary artists right now is the Interrupters, a true family band, and I think one of the greatest ska rock and roll bands of all time, and good people, and they put on a hell of a show, and their records are awesome. So, the Interrupters, love them, and you should too. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. I'm Tré Cool. The album Saviors was recorded in 2 countries, 3 different drum rooms, and it was a lot of fun putting this one together, but it's really hard for us to wait to put it out, because when you have a record like this in your hands and you just want to show everybody, it's kind of frustrating not to. You're listening to Green Day Radio exclusively on Sirius XM. I'm Tré Cool. There's a band called Ultra Q that I think everyone should check out. They opened for us down at the Country Club on Fremont in Las Vegas. Great band, kick ass. Check them out, Ultra Q.
A new album. Anniversaries of Dookie and American Idiot.
The Big D, Dookie.
And a massive summer tour.
Playing with Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas.
Green Day are attacking 2024.
I don't know what to say.
And months before you can see them on the Saviors Tour, they'll deliver an exclusive Sirius XM small stage performance. This month, right here on Green Day Radio.
Green Day, Green Day, Green Day!
Green Day has returned with their long-awaited new album, Saviors. Now, get ready for their epic summer 2024 tour with a limited-run Sirius XM channel.
Green Day Radio.
And their exclusive small stage performance.
Hey, thanks a lot to Sirius XM for putting on this extravaganza.
Captured live from Irving Plaza in New York City. Catch bonus replays all weekend here on Green Day Radio or on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Good night.
Green Day Radio. All things Green Day. And the other things Green Day do. This is The Network.
I'm Billie Joe Armstrong.
From his compilation album, No Fun Mondays, here's another Billie Joe cover on Green Day Radio. Green Day Radio slides into another cover from Billie Joe Armstrong's No Fun Mondays compilation. Green Day. All day.
Green Day Radio.
Exclusively on Sirius XM.
Keep listening for more Green Day friends.
Our music, our influences,
And the artists we're into.
This is Green Day Radio.
If you know, you know. But if you don't know, well, now you know. You never know what you get.
Green Day Radio.
Sirius XM.
Green Day Radio.
Sirius XM. That was another artist hand-selected by Green Day to play. Keep listening for more Sonic Anarchy, hand-selected by the band to be part of their very own Sirius XM channel.
Green Day Radio.
Green Day Radio.
Sirius XM.
Mom and Dad don't look so hot.
Late night, Green Day. On Sirius XM's Green Day Radio. Green Day, all night. On Sirius XM's Green Day Radio.